Hi, my name is Bhumika Sharma, and I have got another lesson for you. As I told in the previous lesson of beta oxidation, that I will be having another lesson containing the structure of fatty acids. So here it is. Let's get started. Alright, from the basic definition of what is a fatty acid, a carboxylic acid consisting of a hydrocarbon chain and a terminal carboxyl group, especially any of those occurring in as esters in fats and oils. Okay, so a basic diagram shows an alkyl group this side, or you can also consider this long chain of fatty acids here, while you can also see a carboxyl group onto the opposite end. So this is the basic structure of a fatty acid. Okay, so for the next topic, we've got the types. On the basis of presence of double bonds, fatty acids can be of the following two types. The first is the saturated fatty acid, and the second is the unsaturated fatty acid. The saturated fatty acids. A saturated fat is the one in which the fatty acids have all single bonds. So there may be a long hydrocarbon chain, a zigzag one, and if only the single bonds are present, then it's a saturated one. Some carbons are linked by single bonds and some by double bonds. Of course, our basic knowledge of chemistry tells us that the double bonds, they can be broken to add hydrogen atoms, and as such they give rise to saturated fatty acids. Now, some points to remember. Most animal fats are saturated. They have higher melting points than their corresponding parts, and these exhibit a compact structure and are therefore solid. So butter is a saturated fatty acid. Now these are not healthy for humans because they get accumulated in the arteries and they may give heart attacks. So that is the reason why lesser intake is advisable. Okay, diagrammatically I have drawn a saturated fatty acid here. It's a long chain, as you can observe from here, and then we've got a functional group right here. Okay, so here is the long chain of hydrocarbons, and here we've got the carboxyl group. So as you can see, it's very compact, so it's a solid. The unsaturated fatty acids. An unsaturated fatty acid is the one in which there is at least one double bond present within the fatty acid chain. If one double bond is present, that it's a mono unsaturated fatty acid, and polyunsaturated if more than two double bonds are present, of course. In cellular metabolism, unsaturated fat molecules contain somewhat lesser energy than an equivalent amount of saturated fats. But unsaturated fatty acids are more advisable because these can be broken down. These can be hydrolyzed to form saturated fats, and these are easily digestible as well. So that is the reason why doctors advise us to use polyunsaturated fats, such as in olive oil. Now, the greater the degree of unsaturation in a fatty acid, that is, the more the double bonds are present in a fatty acid, the more vulnerable it is to lipid peroxidation, a phenomenon which is also known as rancidity. Okay, I've drawn a very basic diagram of an unsaturated fatty acid here. We've again got a long chain of fatty acid. Got a double bond there right in the center, and this point is also known as a kink. We'll understand why. The next topic is the types of unsaturated fatty acids. Unsaturated fatty acid is of the following two types. The first type is the cis unsaturated fatty acid, and the second type is the trans unsaturated fatty acid. The chains of carbon atoms on the same side of the double bond resulting in a kink are called cis unsaturated fatty acids. When the carbon atoms they have alkyl groups or hydrogen atoms on the same side, they form the cis form. Now these, they have usually lower melting points, and most of these, they are liquids at room temperature. For the trans-unsaturated fatty acids, hydrogen atoms are on the opposite side of the double bonds of the carbon chain, making the fat molecule straight. Usually high melting points are observed. Trans fats, just like saturated fats. Now, why are trans fats like saturated fats? Because just like saturated fats, these also have a compact structure and they are linear because no kinks are present. So these are also solid at room temperature. For the diagram, we've got the cis type here and we've got the trans type here. For the cis type, as you can see, I have drawn carbon atoms on the double bond, and as you can see, the hydrogen atoms, they are on the same side, whereas in the trans type, the hydrogen atoms, they are on an opposite side. So the cis and the trans types of the unsaturated fatty acid. So I already told you that if more than one bond is present in the whole chain, such as this one right here, it has got 3. This is a polyunsaturated fatty acid. This is a monounsaturated fatty acid molecule because it has just one double bond right here. And this one right here is a saturated fatty acid molecule. Okay, as examples of fatty acids, again, saturated is a very famous example is lauric acid, myristic, palmitic, and stearic acid. For unsaturated, in monounsaturated, we've got oleic acid, which is found in olive oil, and it is also known as omega-9. For polyunsaturated, we've got omega-6 and omega-3. In omega-6, we've got linoleic acid, CLA, GLA, arachidonic acid, etc. And in omega-3, we've got linolenic acid, EPA, and DHA. Thank you so much for watching this lesson. If you like them, do watch the other ones and share as well. We'll meet next time.